Good morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jera Wasonko. I'm joined by my co-host, Ibrahim Abalde, as well as our guest here, Adid Rami. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. You guys look fresh.
I feel fresh. I had a nice, restful Sunday.
Nice.
It was cool. I completely relaxed and chilled. I didn't even... And I have resolved, by the way, in case anybody's wondering why I didn't interact with them on social media.
Yeah.
For the last 5 Sundays, I have decided I'm not going on social media at all. And I've stuck to it because I'm on it 6 days a week already.
Yeah, it's
you know,
crazy.
So for the last 5 Sundays, no Facebook, no Twitter, no WhatsApp.
And I'm happy that you're doing that because people have to now develop the culture of handling themselves, you know, deciding on what content they want to see, deciding on when they want to get on social media. I think now I've done that. I've just filtered what I want to see. If I feel like something is psychologically going to affect me, I don't see it. Or if I completely don't want to be on. So I think when it comes to social media and human beings, we should take control.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. And so the only time I've broken it in the last 5 weeks was about 2 weeks ago when I posted that the weekend review was coming.
Okay.
Just to say, watch myself and Choi, as I was at that time.
Okay.
Later on, weekend review, I posted that, I came off.
Nice.
That was it.
I'm so happy.
And I'm still alive.
Yeah, you're not going to die.
Yeah,
and social media can be really traumatizing sometimes.
It just takes up too much of our time.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And I think, Balde, so what do you think, the issue of social media, do you control what you see online?
No, he doesn't.
You know,
I can answer for him.
Oh, you can answer for him.
Well,
do you control what you
I'm
see?
kidding,
Or do you control your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram time? You know.
Well, I go to sites that are of interest to me.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't go to... I don't watch anything that I see on social media. There are things that I see. If I'm not interested, I just scroll.
Okay.
Like you mentioned, there are things that will steal your peace from you.
That
will snatch your peace from you. So watching those things, you know, I think it's important for you to avoid them. So normally I go to sites that I want to watch, that I think, I mean, they are good for me. You understand? So it's a matter of choice, what you want to watch and what you don't want to watch. But it's important for us to control it because it's becoming a problem. I am guilty as well because I'm always glued to my phone.
Me too.
You know, which is a sickness.
I even see it here. I'm ashamed to say that, you know, I go into meetings and some of my colleagues who are in that meeting are spending the whole time, and when you speak to them, they say, no, I am concentrating. But no, you're not. With me, and they can vouch. My phone is always face down.
Yeah, that's good.
If it rings and it's to do with work, I might pick it up and say, can I just leave the room?
Do this?
But you will never see me in a meeting. I think it's disrespectful, it's rude, and yet people do it. You know, we've become slaves to these things. It's like we're not all brain surgeons or, you know, that we're on call all the time, that we have to be on our phones all the time. You know, so chill, you know, just leave your phone, you're not going to die.
I'm also training myself because previously, whatever I do, I get to post it online, you know, I don't know, but I'm trying now to see how much I'm happy at the same time, and I don't need to tell people that I'm happy, you know, because that is how social media is.
For me, part of the reason why I decided to kind of start limiting it is because it seems as if social media has made people forget their manners, their good graces. So you'll post something, somebody who doesn't know you starts hurling insults at you because you're on social media. If they were face to face with you, they probably wouldn't. And also it makes us kind of forget our humanity. They post things, as Balde says, things that take away your joy and your happiness.
Just away.
You know, for me, one of the times, a long time ago, now 8 years ago, when, you know, this is in kind of early days, somebody posted a photograph of an accident, and I heard people talking about it, and it was like, so there were some people in the room that I was in that said, have you seen this picture? So I went on it, and you know what, and this is not made up story. What had happened was there'd been an accident on the road from Freetown to Bow. And somebody had been killed in the accident. Her head was cut off.
Oh my God.
She was a friend of mine. That was the first I knew of it.
That
I was so upset.
crazy.
And I said, this has just happened. So her family don't even know. And you guys are sharing. I actually left the group.
That's too much.
Because I just thought this, people were arguing with me, oh, it's news, people need to know.
No,
I said,
but you don't need to show the images.
This is gruesome.
And it's the same thing with the shooting as well. The
yeah.
shooting incident,
they
posted pictures of the dead and everything. I think people need to be serious.
Well, imagine if that is your family member.
We are not controlling the way we use social media. I think most people post anything, they do anything. At the end of the time, you know, there are times that, you know, in a person's life you reflect and, you know, you come back to yourself. I mean, what about some of the things that you posted? I mean, if they happen to haunt you in the future, maybe you might not want certain people or certain things, I mean, to realize what you were posting, you know, so nobody knows. So that's why whatever you post, make sure it is controlled.
Yeah, but whatever you post too, let it be your decision, because like you mentioned, it is who you are as well. You don't need to hide behind things, because I hear people talk about that a lot, which is true. So make sure whatever you post, it's something that even if it's there 10 years later, you're okay with it. It's you posted it. No influence, nobody influenced you. You know, all of those things are important.
I think that's very significant.
So let it be you. Even if it's something that someone else is going to say, oh, I don't accept what this person posted, but it has to be yourself, and you're okay with it 10 years later.
Yeah, because I see people hiding behind names like, know, they call themselves Thomas Sankara,
Xi
Jinping.
Exactly.
I know you're not Xi Jinping in my group. You know, I post under my name.
Yeah,
so if you want to come back to me, come back.
It's needed. You know, it's just important to take ownership. Ibrahim, moving on, you want us to take a look at the African proverb? I didn't even ask how your weekend, but I'm sure your weekend was good.
And what else we have on?
Yeah,
on
I'm sure your weekend was good.
My weekend, I was helping Madam clean.
Are you sure?
We cleaned the whole house.
Are you sure?
This time, Madam made me work.
Really?
I helped her carry out the sofas. I cleaned the house.
Made you work.
Are you sure?
I'm sure anyway, you willingly did.
We're just gonna head right on to the. I'm not sure we have papers yet.
Let's
get to the proverb.
Sure.
Do not put your goat out to graze in the field of the leopard.
These Congo people, they seem to be coming up with proverbs every day for us now. Do not put your goat out to graze in the field of the leopard. That's yeah. I mean,
well, we all know what will happen.
We all
know what is going to happen if you allow your goat to go and graze in the land of the leopard.
Of course. So I guess the wider sense of it is that if you know that something is dangerous, do not go there. Don't put your hand in the fire. Don't step in you know, where you know there's a deep hole and you'll fall in. So I guess it's like, you know, do not put yourself in the line of danger. I guess is essentially what this is about. But yes, in the literal sense, of course, if you did put your goat there, you probably won't find it there after very long. So yeah, it's a nice proverb, and it's quite succinct, and you can take it in the literal sense, and of course, as I said, in the broader sense about not putting yourself in harm's way or in the way of danger. So yeah, I like it. So go. Next time we have to specify which Congo.
Kinshasa or Brazzaville.
Exactly.
Nice. So do you have anything to add on to that?
What is your interpretation?
Well, what about? Let me just put this. I don't know how you're gonna say that.
No.
What about if you don't want your goat to graze on that land, but the goat is jumping about, going up and down, and wants to go out there? Sometimes it happens. Then
your goat will get what it deserves.
It
will be somebody's lunch.
Yes, it will be somebody's lunch.
And not yours. Yes.
But I mean, it's still gonna in turn hurt you, the owner of the goat.
Yeah,
that's why you have to.
You've lost
you have to take
you have
control.
to secure your goat.
Yeah, you have to take control.
Because it says, do not put your goat.
Yeah.
It didn't say, do not let your goat go there. It's you, the owner. It's giving you the control.
Yeah.
And that's why I broadened it out to the sense that if you know that something is dangerous, don't do it, don't go there. Rather than you know it's dangerous, you think, yeah, I'm going to go there anyway. But no, so you're in control. Do not put your goat. So it's giving you the active sense of not, it doesn't say don't let your goat graze. It says do not put your goat. So it's you actually putting the goat in the way of danger, in the way of harm. Yeah.
All right, so I'm informed that we have taken time into.
Gosh,
I just
already.
hope we get papers soon. Just so
and if
that
not,
we delve into issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read a very interesting one just now.
So we will just go for a short break because after the proverb, and when we come back, we will take a look at issues that happened over the weekend. We'll be right back.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. a symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket.
Amazing.
With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with Qcell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by Qcell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in and you're watching QTV this morning. So after that proverb, gentlemen, we can talk about sports actually, because I saw the women's team.
They've flown.
I saw that.
Yeah, it would be good. I think we weren't there, but
I saw them.
To do a story about it, because I think it would be good to do. I mean, we've seen how
they have a new coach.
They've got a new coach, and we've seen how the men have done, and hopefully that will inspire them. But not only do I hope it will inspire them, I hope we will put some money into women's football. I mean, as somebody who is a keen follower of sport, the Women's World Cup, which just ended recently, is the best ever. It was held in Australia and New Zealand. I mean, the skill quality was high. Some of the smaller nations really performed well. You had big teams like Germany getting knocked out by the likes of Colombia. So it really was inspiring to watch. And in terms of skill, the skill level is the highest I can ever recall seeing in a Women's World Cup. And I hope that has inspired our women. But also, if we want them to do well, I think we need to put money into it. I mean, Saudi Arabia has just started a professional women's league, something which people wouldn't have considered 10, 15 years ago in Saudi, and yet it's there. There are still some countries where women don't play football, Iran and so on. They've tried to stop them, but I hope they do well, the Gambian women.
I think women football is now becoming the deal, because when you look at the women that are involved in football, we've just seen the recently concluded tournament.
The World Cup.
You see how women perform when it comes to football. I mean, you'll be surprised to know some of them can even play better than men.
Nice.
Yes. The reason why I said that,
I wouldn't go that far.
Imagine me in the field.
Why don't you guys get along?
No. Imagine Balde in the field.
No. But you're not a footballer. You have to compare women footballers with women footballers, not women footballers with men who don't play football professionally.
So you mean you did not agree?
That's not a.
Of
course, they're better than many men who are not footballers. You should have said
who are not footballers.
Who are not footballers. But that's not even being fair to the women. That's not even being fair to the women.
Because then the comparison comes in.
And that
is what we want to avoid.
Actually, when I say they are better than other men,
you said footballers.
No, some of them are better than other men. Is that not right?
Imagine
a woman playing football for many years, and a guy who doesn't even know how to kick a ball.
Okay, now I understand what you mean.
Why would you make that comparison?
Well, I'm just telling you how women football is going now. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're being fair to the women with that comparison, because you're almost denigrating them. They're better than men who don't play football. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's low. I think that's low. So let's just say they're doing well at their own level. They're doing well at their own level.
And if you take the likes of America, for example, the women's team, they've won the Women's World Cup 3 times.
Okay.
The men have never even made it to a semi-final or quarter-final, even though the American men's team is really quite good right now. The same with Canada and Spain. The women, Spain women have just won the World Cup, as we know. Their men have won it once. But the women's team had never even made it to a quarter-final before, and now they've won it. So it's like the order is changing. We're used to seeing American women getting to the final. We're used to seeing England getting to the final. Or, now you have, as I said, you have the likes of Colombia getting to the semi-finals and so on. So thumbs up to them, and we go back to the Gambian women.
Yeah.
Let's put the resources to make the game develop nationwide.
You know,
because you don't know where the talent is going to come from. They're not all in Combo. They're not all in this. You know, let's do a national scouting, and then we will get.
And the mindset also needs to change. You know, regarding women football. You know, when you talk about football in this country, people picture men doing football
in many countries.
You know, and now it is way above that.
I mean, in England, which likes to see itself as a kind of forward-thinking, they had banned women from playing on football pitches that belonged to any football club that allowed women to play on their pitch would have been banned up to the 1970s. So we're not talking about 1,000 years ago. You know, now they're making all this noise. In my lifetime, women were banned from playing on pitches that belonged to clubs that were affiliated to the Football Association or the Football League because they didn't want women to play football. So this is changing. And I think, you know, sport generally is changing where, you know, women, I was in a really interesting story on the BBC about 2 weeks ago about the first woman to run the Boston Marathon. She had to run it disguised as a man because they felt that women could not run a marathon distance. Now, you know, women's marathon distances, they're not that far behind men in terms of time. And of course, women can run the marathon.
How did she do?
She beat over 150 men.
Wow.
So after that, they thought, perhaps women can do it. And she said that once people realized that this was a woman running, people were cheering her. There are pictures and everything, and there's video and everything. You know, they're cheering her because for many years they had ascribed the first woman to run to somebody else. But she did it actually 10 years before this somebody else, who's always getting credited as being the first person. And so they've got film and they've got photographs of her running and of crowds cheering her when they realize, oh, it's a woman.
Good.
You know, so yeah, it's good. So, you know, these are the ways women have had to break down barriers, not by anybody helping them, but by smashing these glass ceilings and these things that are in front of them. Nobody's saying, oh, I'm going to break it for you. They've had to break it themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So big up.
We also see a lot of checkpoints since the
lots of obstacles still. Yeah, I mean, since the shooting, there are a lot of checkpoints on the road. In fact, they started before the shooting, if we recall, that there'd been a press release about maybe 4 days before the shooting, saying that because of accidents, they were kind of alerting the public that, look, if you see you know, checkpoints, is because there are too many accidents and we want to calm down traffic. And essentially, that's what these three officers were doing. They were on essentially enhanced traffic duty, one might call it, and then, you know, two of them end up losing their lives. So we've seen those, and it seems to be working in terms of calming down traffic, particularly at some of the hot spots. Although still in the last week alone I saw 4 accidents too, you know. So you know, how much is calming down, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
One of them, I think it happened just seconds before we got there in the morning. I think Monday morning we were coming.
No way.
And it's a really bad one. If anybody goes along from Sukuta traffic light going towards airport, look on the left side, you will see one of the vehicles is still there. It's a complete write-off. The whole of the front is smashed off. A commercial van, a green commercial van, is still there. It's been there over a week now.
It's just crazy. I got a car for less than 2 months, and I got into an accident.
Were you driving?
I wasn't driving, but then you can see that the person, it was a van driver. The van driver touched somebody. That person touched another person. That person touched us, and then the person
kind of domino effect.
You know, so it was like all over, and then he came crying. You know. Why? Because he has to, by law, he has to pay like everybody.
Well, but no, by law in the Gambia only, because nobody's insured properly here. And in sensible countries, everybody's insured.
That's
and
true.
Even if I smash into you, I don't even have to do everything. I just exchange numbers. Here's my number, here's your number. Insurance companies take care of it.
Yeah, but for
here, people start
looking at that van, I'm sure it does not have the needed insurance. And the other vehicle was like a government vehicle.
Take comprehensive insurance.
Yeah, it's important. So I had to be like, oh, it's fine, because I knew this person can't pay for this, and it's going to be like a back and forward, you know. So I'm like, go.
Like for my case, where a lorry ran off the road and smashed my car, which was not even on the road.
That was crazy.
Completely
that
destroyed
one was
it.
bad.
The guy had no license, and the car and the lorry, which was carrying rubbish, big lorry carrying rubbish, had no brakes. Oh. How are you on the road with no license? And I don't even know what's happened to him in terms of prosecution or whatever. They'll probably let him go. You know, he should be locked up for life. I mean, there are too many people like that on the road.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy have been managing his handbrakes.
And a young guy. Yeah, of course, that's what he'd been doing.
People are so bad.
It's really bad. That's what he'd been doing. You slow down, and then you use your handbrake
to manage it.
Or
to manage
you use the gear shift.
Listen, I know somebody. I know somebody, and he's probably watching because he regularly watches this. He drove from here to Sintet and back without brakes, and he had the nerve to tell me that he did that. I told him, shame on you. He's probably watching. You know, because, come on, from Sintet here to Sintet.
It's not safe. It's
well,
I think unsafe.
Yeah,
That's
I think there are
unsafe.
many things that should
And
be
so I said, how did you do? He said, well, I kept using
the handbrakes.
You're like, what? That was scary.
And those handbrakes are not meant for braking on the road.
Of course.
They're meant for stabling your car.
Yeah, just so your car doesn't move.
Of course.
You
Once you are, you stand still.
Yeah.
There's another thing that we should discuss. You are in your car and you start littering the whole environment. I posted something on the page last week. This driver was in front of my car, and very nice car. It was fine, but I saw the guy threw away a particular can. I was like, wow, on the highway.
Okay. I really get annoyed by that, and really what has depressed me is that on these new roads that have been built from the airport along Bertel Harding, the road looks really clean, and then you get to certain spots and you see people have already started throwing, and you just think, oh no, why? You know, you can see it's clean, you can see it's clear, and you know when you throw it, nobody's going to come and sweep it. So why are you throwing?
Who's going to pick it for you?
Nobody's going to pick it up. So why are you throwing it? And so, again, it's kind of depressing. So let's use these roads to kind of educate people. To say when you get to a stop, put it in a bin or dispose of it then. Don't throw it out.
And also you have the side pockets. You can always put it there.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's
you can always
everybody
put it there.
should do.
Yeah,
you know,
it's meant
when
for
you get to wherever you're going, you get to your destination, then you dispose of it. But look, in the Gambia, it's going to be a mammoth task because you see it every single day. Every single day. If they started stopping people, finding them, it's against the anti-littering laws. But we don't stop anybody.
Yeah, we don't. I can remember there was a time they recorded a lot of video sensitizing the public many years ago. In fact, they dramatize it. You know, if you are in your car, do not throw outside.
Keep Gambia tidy.
If you are in a van, you know, put everything in the van.
Waste of video.
You know, so
waste of video.
You
For real.
You understand?
Because nobody's paying attention.
But I mean,
or very few.
Indeed, it's a waste of video and resources.
So I don't know how much time we have in this segment, if at all, but just very, very quickly, just before I left, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, they had always said that they would help each other in case there was an attack, because remember, ECOWAS had said that they might launch an attack, which I've never believed would happen, and touch wood, still hasn't happened. Now they have formally signed a defense pact that if one is attacked, the others will, because previously they'd only talked about it. Now the three coup leaders have come together, and I've got the video. Hopefully we'll have it on the news tonight.
Wow.
They've come together and they have signed a pact that if they are attacked, the others
then they're going to come together.
Come to the rescue. But Guinea have kept out of it at the moment. Guinea Conakry.
Well, for a long time I didn't hear Guinea complaining about Doumbouya. I mean, I think they are silent about him for now. I think there is calm at the moment. I don't know what is happening in Guinea. I know my people. You know, when leadership is not good, they start talking. They complain. But
so
for
you
now,
think they're comfortable?
I think they are comfortable.
No, this is a man who's not watching. We have to watch the news. So last week, women took to the streets in Guinea Conakry to complain about the price of everything. And people have been sharing it because they're saying, look, this is a country where there's a military government. They didn't harass the women. They allowed them right up to the presidential palace. They were banging their pots and pans in complaining. So it's not quiet at all, far from it. But they're being allowed to protest.
But at least they have that freedom. It's a military government, but they have that freedom. So it means,
I think my only problem is the fact that when they take over, you know,
they stay.
They stay. That's my problem. And then you come up with a whole or a transitional thing that they do not even stick to, or sometimes they're not even clear about it. I think that is my main issue.
And it's all over the world. If you look at El-Sisi in Egypt,
yeah.
I mean, for some reason, he staged a coup d'etat. In Britain and in America, both the governments and the newspapers decided not to call it a coup d'etat. I don't know how. Very unusual for them all to collude like that, for the press and the government. Usually they're against each other.
Yeah.
None of them refer to it as it was a straight-up coup d'etat that he staged. You know, and then of course he took off his military uniform and said, "Vote for me," and now he's the president.
It's just,
you know, and so we see it. It's not just in this part of Africa.
Yeah.
It's in North Africa,
yeah.
which
Even
is
in
where
Niger,
Egypt
you can
is.
see that the opposition is saying that now they want, because you know the irregularities are there when it comes to the elections. So if they really wanted really a democratic transition, they could have said, "Oh,
rerun the election or
let's
something."
do the election again." But you're coming over, staying there, developing a whole transition plan. It's not genuine.
Yeah,
I don't think it's genuine.
You know, and saying you're going to fix this, you're going to fix that. Yeah, you know, you need to, as you said, rerun the election.
Yes, if you really
say,
mean democracy.
and then say, okay, let's see, whoever wins, and get them to accept the vote, the result of the vote.
Yeah, I think I've not been hearing anything, or when it comes to the upcoming tourist season. I don't know. It's it's quiet, and it's approaching. It's fast approaching.
Well, Mr. Smiling Coast is next to you.
I don't know why. I've not been hearing. There's no noise about this is what we plan. This is what is going to happen. The projections are not out yet.
We're still in the rainy season.
I think
we are, but it's not. We're approaching. We're in September, so we need to start communicating now.
Well, there'll be a time. I mean, if things are not put at a place where they're supposed to be, I think the number of tourists that we'll be receiving in the Gambia will be very low. Because, I mean, I've been saying this. Try and improve certain areas. Tourists want to see something different.
Right.
They don't want to come and see things that they've been seeing in their countries. You understand? Let them see the culture. Let them go into the public. Let them see. Let them feel the people. But if you bring them, you take them to hotels. Fine, they'll be there. They'll be eating good food, and at the same time, they'll be living the life they've been living in.
But you know what? Jennifer has raised an interesting point, and perhaps we need to call somebody in from the ministry and from the tourism board and say,
it's difficult. You'll not get them. Don't worry.
No, I don't think so. You know, what have you done or what are you doing? Because for all we know, there might be advertising in the countries where they want people to come from.
Right.
From the United Kingdom,
yeah,
from
they
Sweden,
might be doing it there.
Germany. There might be advertising in those
we
countries.
Just want to know what's going on. Yeah,
we
we just want to know.
One thing I know, I've been
talking
talking to the former director of marketing, GT Board, Adam Anjai. He's currently in the UK. That's where he does his thing. You understand? He was sent there. I mean, I think, to a particular office on the GT board in the UK. So that's where he is currently, and he does his things there. I think he does something like marketing or plans and all those stuff for people coming to this country. But for me, I think that is not enough. I think we need to improve.
I don't think that's all they do. I mean, I have to be fair to them because they also have this thing in London at the Qcell Centre. It's an annual thing called the World Travel Market. The Gambia is always very well represented there. In fact, in terms of our sub-region, I would say only Cape Verde probably has a better representation at that event than the Gambia. Gambia is always there. The tourism minister is always there. They always put up a good show in terms of showing people. And that is the biggest travel market in Europe.
Right.
Every year it's the biggest. It is huge. I mean, the place it is held is about the size of maybe 4 or 5 football fields.
Nice.
Yeah, it's massive, the Qcell Centre, and it goes on for just several hundreds of meters.
Okay, all right.
So maybe they're doing things, but I think you've raised a good point. Because
we just want to be aware.
It's such a key thing.
It is key.
That maybe we need to know.
So, as it's approaching, so we just want to know.
So let me make a note. Tourism.
Tourism, just to know what has been going on and all of that. Yeah. And I just, hope that it's better this year. The food sellers, the boys, everybody, sometimes.
It's been slowly picking up though since the kind of COVID affected time, both here and in other countries around. It's been picking up, but other countries are making wider. I will share with you what that other country is doing.
When I was doing that program, Smiling Coast, I mean, I engaged a lot of people, especially those that walk around the tourism industrial area,
Right.
they talked about some of the challenges they face. You know, there was a time the minister introduced what we call the all-inclusive. I mean, you know, they said that's really affecting them. You understand? So now whatever you do, when tourists come, they have everything
lunch,
inside the
dinner,
hotel. You understand?
No,
so
that's not
they
right.
They
need to go out and
even go
explore.
out at least to buy certain things.
No, that's not right.
So
in fact, get certain, because I mean,
you'd never know the real Gambia.
You're never gonna know, because at the hotel you're just gonna eat.
So I think the all-inclusive wasn't favorable to them. You know, and they said that was really affecting. I hope this year it will.
They
be
will
like
look
that.
for a way.
Yeah.
So gentlemen, I'm afraid that is all we have time for. So thank you so much, Mr. Ade.
Thank you,
Mr. Ade, this week, you know, as my editor, I just don't want you to stress me. You know, it's my birthday on Thursday, so just allow things to flow.
I don't even need to stress myself. I'm up to Sharab right now. So.
Today, I don't want newsroom to stress me about it. Tell me something.
We are up for birthday lunch.
Consider yourself on.
If you want to take us,
my birthday is on Thursday, okay? So allow me to
if you want to take us out for birthday lunch, we are here.
It was going to be a public holiday, but I
Our birthday is on
that's
Thursday.
been rescinded.
I don't know, Mr. Ade, you worked on it for it to become a public holiday, because that's the day I was born. So what went wrong?
I think some of the National Assembly members were jealous.
They didn't agree with it.
You know, they kicked it. It didn't even get in front of the Assembly. So.
I don't
It's
know
not
why.
their interest.
They could have taken it to the committee
Exactly.
stage,
That's
Mr.
not their
Ade.
interest.
Why didn't they take it to the committee
It should have
stage?
gone
They
to the
could have
committee stage.
scrutinized it.
Maybe they are not interested. it doesn't favor them.
It does not
But they are
favor them, but
fine.
thank you so
But they
much,
wanted
Mr. Ade.
Kokaba's birthday to
be a public holiday instead.
Yeah,
But thank you so much, Mr. Ade, for joining
Pleasure.
us, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
We'll just go for a short break and we'll be right back.
Korka, have you picked up
Forefront
your
of our
card
lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, Qcell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of Qcell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of Qcell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. Qcell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with Qcell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into Qcell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with Qcell. Qcell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. Qcell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I'm Jenna Bosonko. So Ibrahim and I, we're shifting our attention to the burial, the Sukuta traffic lights shooting incident, and the burial of the 2 police officers. Thumbs up to Mamadou Gajaga, because he's been extensively covering this incident since it occurred, and thank you so much for joining us on the program. So must have been a sad moment. You attended both burials, you know, you listened to family members and colleagues, you know, give their testimonies. So how was it like?
Well, quite a sober moment for their families, friends and loved ones, government officials, their colleagues in the police and the armed and security services of the Gambia. First, it was on Friday. I was in Forney Campasa. That's the village of the late Pati Jallo, Pati Jallo police constable, who was a victim of a shooting incident, as you earlier on mentioned, on Tuesday night at the Sukuta Jabang traffic light junction.
Right.
So when we arrived there, of course, the burial was scheduled for 2 p.m. We were late. We couldn't make it with the senior police officers who were there with us as well. The Deputy IG Mamadou Sow, the National Security Advisor, and also the Minister of Interior Siaka Sonko, plus a host of others, as well as the Deputy Chief of Defense Staff, Mamadou Ocham, and many others from the government and their colleagues, police officers who were also there. So when the burial was being done, of course, it's customary for government officials and, you know, some of his colleagues to come there, as well as people who were sent by the president. One of them is Mustafa Jallo, the State House Imam, was also there on behalf of the president and presented $100,000 as cash to the family to console them that the president is really devastated by the events which happened about the police, their passing. It was truly shocking as well. But for family members, it was absolutely a terrible moment for them. They looked back and reflected losing a loved one, quite a young chap. I think he's 21, 22 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really very difficult for them to take. But they said they were patient, and for each and every one of us, there will come a day that you will die. There are circumstances in which will lead to your death. So they've accepted that fact. But also they mentioned that they want justice to be served. They want the perpetrator to be brought to book because they think this is something which happened, and if something like that didn't happen, a precedence could be set. Maybe somebody else would want to try to harm police officers. Yeah, but at least this time, if the culprit is taken through the court system and then the person put on trial and maybe sentenced or whatever, but justice must be served. That's what they said. And then this following day, on a Saturday, I went to Kitty as well, at the funeral of Sang J. Gomez, who is also the other police officer who passed, who was also one of the victims in the shooting incident. So many people, hundreds of people all over the place, family members, his colleagues, police officers, also senior officers of the police, as well as some government officials. That funeral, even the IGP, Abdullah Sanyang, made it because, you know, he was on his way when this shooting incident happened. You know, he traveled. But I understand he had to cut short his trip, and then he was returning back home because of the events that happened. So he was there, and some other people. Quite a sober moment for that family as well, and the people who were there. People were weeping. People were completely. Some would even passed out. Yeah. So I was there. It's definitely a very difficult period.
It's a difficult moment.
The country is definitely in mourning.
And for me, it's about how promising these young people, you know, were, like they're so young. And all
at the peak of their career. I'm so they're ambitious. I'm sure there are a lot of things that are in their mind, their plans to achieve and all of that.
But like you said, you know, every individual is going to die and you do not know the circumstances. But sometimes the circumstances are just too much to handle. The circumstances leading to the death, you know. And this one is just so difficult to absorb, honestly. You know, and you went to the press conference. Maybe you can just use this opportunity to remind us in relation to what was said.
Yes, at the press conference, it was still preliminary updates about the events which happened on Tuesday at the traffic light when this shooting happened. Of course, we already know 2 police officers died after the incident, and they were buried as well. For now, they are laid to rest, and we say, may Allah accept them in heaven. So we know Ansi Jao survived it, and you know, she's currently getting treatment at the hospital, Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital. And then at the press conference, the update that was given was a principal suspect is being held. That's Usainu Bojang, a native of Brufut. And also they mentioned that, because I initially reported on Thursday that 5 people were also arrested in connection to this, helping the police in their investigation. I understand that number has risen up to 6, up to 7 people now. So we don't know what is their connection to this, but as far as the police is concerned, there is a suspicion that there is a corroborated issues or events that happened connecting them to the shooting incident, connecting them to the suspect, the main suspect. And then, you know, they went further. The occasion was a bit tense. I don't want to be personal, but there was a bit where the Deputy IGP, Mamadou Sow, came to the podium, you know, gave a briefing about the issues that happened, what state the police are, especially when he mentioned about telephone coding system. He confused the press. Why mention that there are codes which are going to be used, but you journalists probably wouldn't understand it, but for us, the police, these are things that we do. Who does that? If he is going to give codes about, there was a phone call that was made during the incident, by the time it was happening, within that Sukuta traffic light Johnson area, he said there was so much call traffic, telephone conversation. So I think they did a printout according to what he said. So in that printout, they were able to make some codings and all of that. But he went and read those codes, confusing everybody. We don't know those codes. We don't know what they mean. So he didn't go into details about all of that. Yeah, technical or whatsoever. So if they know what those codes mean, and basically, if it is not meant for the press or the public consumption, then you don't even need to mention it there. And then he went further to talk about the recovery of a shoe, the recovery of the suspects, so many things. And he even said everything or all. And then for me, I meant that to be the gun, the weapon that was used in the scene. So I asked him the question. He was very furious.
I saw that, and I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Those things, we get insulted in our job sometimes. People call us liars.
We're not supposed to be insulted anyway.
People call us dishonest. People, so those things, I took it under the chill, and then, you know, it's okay for me. So, yes, those are some of the updates.
Yeah, but just to say, we're not supposed to be insulted as journalists, because the reason why they're there and all those mics are there for them to speak, it's because journalists exist, media houses exist, and then we send their information out there. So without us, then they can't communicate to the public. So I think that we should be given the respect that we deserve as journalists. We are the voice for the voiceless. On QTV, for example, we do a lot of human interest stories. And when we do them, the next minute, change happens, change follows. That's how you measure impact. So I think government or just any other parastatals should see us more as partners to understand that we make things happen for them. That is why they write letters of coverage. That is why they invite us to press conferences. So we should be given the respect that we deserve at all times. There's no excuse to say, oh, we're journalists, we're used to it, it's supposed to happen. No. We're not supposed to be used to being insulted or humiliated. I do not agree with that.
Yeah, most definitely. But if it happens also, you don't want to be confrontational.
You don't want, I agree. As a professional, obviously.
As a professional.
And
yeah, but it's okay. So we move on. So
well, if you are to do, I mean, journalism, you need to accept certain things.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, even if it's happened, my point is it should not be normalized that we have to. No, you have to project certain things to us.
You know, but if at all it meets you along the way.
Yeah, you just have to be professional about it. And mashallah, Gajaga is really a very professional individual. So
that is what it is.
I'm glad
nobody died at the end of the time.
Yeah, but I'm glad that incident was you. It was not somebody who has temper or is confrontational. You know, I'm happy about that.
Well, of course, I'm human. I also have temper. But,
you just have to control it, which is a good thing.
And move on. Yeah.
So before we leave, any other update in relation to the incident?
Well, as far as I am concerned, basically this is it so far. A principal suspect is in police custody. Investigations are going on, and 5-6 other people as well. unless there is a latest update somewhere, which we are also going to inform the public. We'll keep people updated.
As long as you're here, let me just use this opportunity to bring in a little sports quickly before we wrap up. I see we talked about the women's team traveling to play football. You know, do you have any update in relation to that? What's happening?
Well, for the women's team, they are on their way to Morocco, and in Rabat, they should be playing in some qualifiers.
Nice.
And then we'll keep people updated.
Updated in relation to it. Yeah. Okay. See you. I'll see you in Cote d'Ivoire. Like I said, I just hope you're preparing for your appearance in Cote d'Ivoire. I'm so excited for you.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward. So we're calling on sponsors. This is an opportunity. If you're a company and you want your products and services to be advertised, you can partner with us to take our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga to Cote d'Ivoire to cover. And then we all know Gambians love football, and the Gambia has qualified for the second time back to back. So we have to, you know, use your business, your corporate social responsibility to partner with our marketing team to be able to have Momodu Gajaga report extensively when it comes to Gambia's performance at the AFCON. So Gajaga, let's just keep the marketing going. I'm sure we should see you there, inshallah.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you so much. Ibrahima, that is all we have time for.
Yeah,
so thank you so much for joining us. Till we come your way tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.